make it difficult for you to trust the things that you might even be knowing that you could trust.
Word.
So I think it's super important that when you take them blindfolds off, that additional information makes you able to trust, right? Because now you don't have to go blindly.
Yeah, blindly.
Right? So I think trust is a little bit of blind, right? That I guess that's it's inherent in it. It's a level of faith or hoping that somebody fulfills
Belief,
the promise.
you know what I'm saying? Yeah.
But there also has to be something there too that you can at least hang on to. If it's not something to step on to, at least swing on. You need a rope or something, a handlebar, something. So I think the way I accomplish that is by continuously and seriously and earnestly putting out proper information that doesn't require you to do anything. You can accept it, leave it, challenge it, believe it or not. And then if you do and you find out that it is the truth and you find out that that's a direction that sounds like it could resonate with you, you can see you and your family and yourself operating in that space, then you would trust that I've demonstrated the information and ability to execute. So then that's the first little step.
Yeah, definitely.
Hope I answered that.
Nah, because that is the little step, but just what you said, an accumulation of having the strong rope, as he said, right? Just so educating the people, your reputation, these are all building blocks in trust before somebody even comes to you, right? When somebody comes to your restaurant, when somebody comes to our business, right? When they come and they already see the reviews, they ask other people, you've been referred to, right? All these things are levels and blocks of trust that take time to earn. And then the other thing is that you have to carefully guard that.
Yeah.
Right? You have to carefully guard that because you have to be very, very serious of who you're dealing with. Because some people will come in and have unrealistic expectations. Some people will come in and want to destroy what you have, right? So you have to be very careful in guarding what you do. Because once again, people come with a program mindset sometimes, not knowing, envious, or even distrustful, right? Because sometimes people will say, man, I see y'all doing all that. He be talking all that information about financial. I know everybody say he great, and I know everybody say he amazing, but I know something behind that. I know he doing something underhanded. I know he doing something crooked.
Nah, I mean, if you want to look, I look at it like a muscle. You know what I'm saying? You build up. Like, after doing something for so long, you're doing 10 push-ups every day, 100 push-ups every day, get stronger, right? And that's the brand, essentially. So you do something long enough, right? You ain't even got to say nothing. The word is already out what you are. Like, I don't have to tell people to trust me or trust what I'm doing. You know what I'm saying? Someone else was going to tell them to trust me. So by the time I show up, I'm already in a good space. It's up to me now to fuck it up or not. You know what I'm saying? To like you said, create that distrust. And I think at the end of the day, bro, it goes, like, a lot of stuff goes into trust. You know what I'm saying? Like, the word trust is so deep. Anyway, like,
I was thinking that.
Right?
But that's why I'm breaking it down, because that's why I wanted to talk about it, because it's not just an easy concept, right?
Yeah.
And we're trying to think of all the ways, how do you build it, and all the ways that you avoid destroying it.
Yeah.
Right? Because that thing can serve you so you have a leg up in the competition just because you're trustworthy.
Facts. That's a great way. You got leverage at that.
You got
point.
leverage, B.
Yeah.
You got leverage. So you understand that, because
that's value, bro.
I hate to talk about things from a moral standpoint, right? Because there's a lot of people, they're gonna be like, well, you should be let's say, I'm just saying, a good person, right? If somebody says you should be a good person, but if people don't see the benefit of being a good person, they're gonna be a bad person, right? So if people think that the way to get over on people, if people thought that snaking people, right, and doing people dirty,
scamming shit like that,
was the right way, right? No matter, you can't convince them morally to do what's right. They're gonna be saying, no, why would I do that when I can get rich and just faster when I can just have it doing the scamming? But if we want to build long term, reputation, wealth, and not have to run where you don't. I always think about this: walking into your community, seeing people, and not thinking that, they know I scammed them. Did they know, you know what I'm saying? Or somebody say something and trigger something off in your mind, and it don't got nothing to do with it, but you scammed them, so you have a guilty conscience. You have to be on point. That's what happens when you don't build that trust. And that's why I wanted to go deep on the word and how it relates to not just, we're talking business, but now you were talking about your daughters, and you were saying establishing that trust with her, as in, having those conversations. But how did they get to trust you though? In that, because the personal part, 1-to-1, we're talking about a business. They trust you as a businessman, but now personally, with your family, with your friends, how did that trust come about?
Stop playing. Like I think I don't present myself as perfection.
Yeah.
But I'm perfectly Muhammad. And I think that this is my brother. He been knowing me for double digit, maybe, you know what I'm saying? We in there. But and we've had to have talks, right? But I don't think I've been off brand. So even when if I haven't done what somebody may have thought I should do or how I should do it, you still got to trust me. But yeah, all right, that was Muhammad though. That was some Muhammad-ish to do. You know what I'm saying? You
Facts.
feel me? So if it's lit
Facts.
or if it's bad, be consistent. Be who you are. Be true. Like, stop trying to pretend. Once you are who you are, whether it's good or it's bad, because nobody's gonna bat 1,000,000, right? You make those misses. You make those mistakes. Make them on brand. Make them aspiring to be who you are.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I just think that's a really cool thing. It talks about I am that I am. I am what I'm becoming. Be that. As long as you're that, I can trust you. I can trust you because it's consistent. It's the same thing. We talk about establishing a brand as a man. The Muhammad brand. The Javon brand. Right? The Clyde brand. Like these are gonna be past whatever LLC I launched, right? This is the real deal. This is the man.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So that's a brand to that. And you might know how I do business, but you might know how I do on a personal level. You know how I do on a mental level, a physical level, emotional level, and I need to establish who I am, a criteria in all of those spaces.
Yeah, I think systems, right? Like systems everywhere, bro. Like, because this brother and I, since day one, been talking about how we raise our families up. And even just the other day, we were building about, the next level and how these youths coming up in different times. Our first set of youths came up, and so now we like, yo, what I'm doing is running it like a business. What are the core values, you know what I'm saying, of this family?
Yeah, word.
You know what I mean? Like everything, the way we have our huddles. Everybody pitching in. Everybody got a position and a part to play in this game called, you know what I'm saying? LIFE. So the bigger thing for me to add to what you were saying, because I like that perspective of like saying, yo, I'm going to be authentically me. You know what I'm saying? This is who I am. I'm quote unquote imperfect, but this is who I am and this is what I'm striving to be. I would add to that and say, yo, set realistic expectations. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm Superman in my own right. We all superheroes in our own right. Our children are superheroes. And at the same time, I'm going to still be vulnerable, realistic, open, honest, communicate. You know what I'm saying? Because that's the least I would want. Communicate ahead of time so I'm not hit with a surprise or two, because life always throwing you with a fucking dart. That's where I'm at right now.
I mean, but what you said is the absolute, is where I look at, is being who you are. You never have to worry about being off brand or somebody, because you are who you are where you walk to, right? The only version that can be is to be better, right?
Yeah.
If you always say, you know what, where I'm at right now, there's only up. I can't let, this has to be the floor. You see what I'm saying? And when people know that, right? They have a saying, I trust you with my life, but I don't trust you with my wife. And there's some people I can trust with my wife, but I can't trust with my life, right?
Okay.
So
Where you heard that one at?
Huh?
That's a lot of that right there.
You took it back to the black, man. What are we talking about here?
Okay.
I can trust you with my wife, but not my life.
Yes.
I don't trust nobody like that.
I'm just saying. So I'm gonna give you an example, right? I'm gonna give you an example, right?
Okay.
If me and you, right?
Yeah.
If me and you, we was out in the street. It's me, you, and your wife, right? And we out in the street, and you had to pick one of us to help you defend your life. Who would you pick?
To help me?
Yeah.
You. That's what you mean. You.
I'm just saying, because who you think would have the capability to better? You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's the whole point. Now, if you was out there, now if there's people out there that you would be like, yo, you know what? I trust them like that. But if I had to pick somebody to trust with my wife, and I'm saying, you know what I'm saying, you'd be like, yo, I'll pick somebody else. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So there's people that you would say, yo, and I'm not saying you would, not me personally, but I'm just saying, but there's people where you think that there's different areas where you trust. There's a banker, you trust him with you might be like, yo, I trust a man with my money, but I ain't gonna trust him with my personal secrets, right? You might have a therapist who you trust with your personal secrets, but not with your money. Right. You know what I mean? That's all it is. So when people can know what to trust you with, because there's different areas of trust. So that's why I just say, you know, that's just an old saying.
No, you all right. You know what to trust me with.
Yeah, exactly.
You need to know about me because I might wail on you. I'm not politically correct.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying?
Don't tell me nothing crazy. You might get shocked.
Yeah.
Know who you're dealing with. I like that.
That's all it is, because you try to trust, because just because, you know what I'm saying, you trust me with this area don't mean you trust me with all these other areas right here. And when people start knowing you for that brand, for knowing where to trust you at and what to put in your hands,
you be that go-to.
You be that go-to. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, that's all it is. I know you be late all the time, fam. I can't trust you with none of that, but I know that we can sit down and you'll listen to me. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I know that if I call you in the middle of the night, you gonna come through, but I know you gonna be like, yo, fam, I ain't got no time to talk to you.
Yeah, I think that's something to do with our character and makeup, bro. We think that everybody's useful. Like, everybody has a part to play, essentially. Like, nobody is going to get left behind, right? And that could be a character flaw, too, at the same time, just to be on the safe side. Like,
because some people, everybody can't go.
Yeah. Many call, few chosen.
Oh, man.
Many are called, few are chosen.
You know, my thing is power, right? I understand, you know, so my thing is always power, because then they have a saying here, absolute power corrupts absolutely, right? I don't believe in that. I just think that, you know, this society has seen nothing but corrupt, right, individuals. Yeah. So because we've seen nothing but corrupt individuals, we say that, hey, power corrupts absolutely, right? But in actuality, we all have power in our homes, right? Like, the people really look to us and be like, yo, you can get out. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can tell people, yo, get out. But they know, they trust you so much with your benevolence that you're like, yo, nah. They know, they feel safe and secure, and that's what you have to do with your power. So my thing is to gather power and then to be beneficial with that power. Somebody has to control the power, right? But that comes back to the people want to live where you live at, be around you because they trust. They're like, yo, because real talk, a lot of people do not want to control that power because they don't want the responsibility. There's a lot of responsibility on that too. Mm-hmm. People asking you things, people need your help, information, resources, and you have to decide who can get it, who can't.
No, I was just listening. That was deep. Yo, I got a question to that though, right? So they say, we talk about the word trust, and then that word trust, of course, is that word true, right? And all truths are but half truths, right? So when you I know that got a little bit esoteric or whatever, but we dealing in a very interesting time. So somebody's shaking your hand, they give the appearance of this is somebody, a situation, a circumstance that is trustworthy. And as you move into those dealings, you find out, different things.
Exactly.
How does one fortify themselves for these circumstances? Because I moment of vulnerability, what it's done for me is it makes me put a lot of processes up front. And I don't, when I analyze that, it makes me wonder: am I cautious, or am I traumatized, or what? Right? But when trust has been violated, or not even necessarily violated, because sometimes people believe they can do certain things, they have full intention to do a thing, and then they can't.
They can't.
So what are the ways in which y'all have found ways to front end to mitigate that, or what have you? How have you solved this challenge?
I'll start with number one is not being greedy, right? And when I say that is that people come and tell me things all the time. They be like, yeah, I can go make this. So basic greed is like, yo, somebody hit you on the app and say, yo, I can get you, give me your Cash App. I can get you, give me $100 and I'll give you $500 back, right? Mm-hmm. So that first thing is you're like, oh yeah, because I want that. You're ready. So, but it takes a level of trust to do that, right? To give somebody $100 thinking that they're going to give, she'd be like, hold on. That doesn't make sense. Why would I do that, right? So it because it doesn't make sense, why would I do that? It doesn't, so now Now you could actually say you came to me and said that, right? You know what I'm saying? My brother, I'm like, yo, Javon. He's like, yo, listen, give me $100 and I'm gonna give you $1 million back, right? Now
sound like the lotto.
Yeah, it sound like the lotto. I'm saying so now, even though you my brother, right? I still gotta be like, but why is that? Because just like you said, trust is a truth, but it's only a half truth, right? Somebody can get in a situation where now they use their trust that you've gained with them and destroy you, right? Because they've been playing this pattern for 10 years, 20 years with you. And it's not that they changed, it's that something traumatic happened in their life and they have to betray their trust with you. Right? So it's not like, yo, he was just an untrustworthy person or he was just being crazy on you. He just had a situation. So I don't care who it is. If you come to me and you have an investment, you have a situation that's out of the ordinary, I'm going to investigate. I am not going to just say, yeah, oh, that's my brother. Yeah, I gotta just throw in my hat. No, okay, what is your plans? What do you think this is feasible? Now, that's when you come back to risk, right? What risk are you willing to take? Where's your tolerance? So all these upfront processes that I have to be able to say that, and there's still no guarantee to do that. And I always tell people, I always say to myself, all you can do is mitigate risk, but you can't eliminate it, right? It's walking across the street. If I say, okay, I'm gonna wait till no cars is coming back and forth, the chances of me getting hit are very unlikely. I still could get hit, but the chances are very unlikely because I could just sprain my ankle, fall, and somebody hits me, right? Something could happen. But if I cross a busy street, now the chances are greater. I can still get by, but the chances are greater that I get hit. So all I can do is mitigate risk, and that's through processes, asking questions, not being greedy, and understanding, okay, does this really make sense to me? Is this really happening?
That's a good one.
Yo, pose the question one more time, my brother. Say it one more time.
No, so a lot of times people have well-intentioned, right, or even well-positioned, well-seeming. Yeah. How
they believe what they believe. They believe it. They believe it. They're
they
not even
believe
trying to,
it, or they make you believe it. Whatever, however it might go, because anything after the handshake, you give the trust is faith.
It's word. Your word is your bond. You know
so my question is, what can we put in front for us when we giving trust?
Okay.
To make sure that we got some level of understanding, insurance policy, are there systems in place? Are there certain little different things you like to do?
Like a vetting process almost?
Vetting process, exactly. Okay. Not almost. Yeah, what is the vetting process? What is
Okay.
But what because that's such a universal question, what is an example of one of these? Yeah,
I mean, like a good thing right now is happening is like the hiring process. How we going about hiring the next, people that represent the company. We got to know your top 3 favorite movies. You know what I'm saying? What you like to eat. Let me get the top 3 dishes. That's going to tell me a lot about you. You know what I'm saying?
Travel.
Yeah, like
high value, you value health.
Exactly. Because you can read a book by its cover. You know what I'm saying? You can learn a lot about the book from its cover, right? And at the same time, the trust part. Like you never know what a person is capable of until you put them in that position. Right? If they've never been given the opportunity or in that position, then how did I know if they're going to sink or swim? You know what I'm saying? So obviously the risk mitigation comes into play.
That's it.
To mitigate your risk, but you got to take the risk. Or you going to be out here swimming on your own. You know what I'm saying? You're going to be out here trying
It's like the draft though, right? They're not going to draft, it's like somebody says, all right, a number 1 pick flopped, right? Like he didn't make it, right?
Yeah.
But it isn't like he came with no criteria. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. Like the man was balling in the school he was at.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
He might have been injury prone, but whatever.
But whatever. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like there was you saw there was things
scouting
there.
Report.
Scouting report. There was a whole scouting report. You know what I'm saying? They ain't just go get somebody off the street and was like, oh yeah, we put the number 1 pick, but we didn't know nothing about him. There was a whole he was just tall, you know what I'm saying? So exactly, we ain't never seen him dribble the ball. He was dribbling down the street one day and we went and got him.
Yeah.
Now there's a whole scouting report, right? They talk to coaches, they do all kinds of stuff, they put you through everything. And I'm just saying though that because there's nothing you can guarantee in this life. all you can do is mitigate the risk. You can say, just like you hiring somebody, everything you just said, right? You've done that, and the person didn't turn out correctly, right? They met all the criteria.
Yeah.
But we did that because we said, yo, look, it's a numbers game.
Yeah.
Right? If I get 10 people that match this criteria, 8 of them are going to be good. 2 of them, that's what we found, right? We have a disc assessment, right? And we found the type of people who make great cleaners, right? That's just how it's been. Now, has there been people who have become great cleaners who didn't meet that criteria?
Absolutely.
And have there been people who have met the criteria who weren't great cleaners? Absolutely. Yeah. But we've seen that when we follow this criteria, there's a better chance of them being hired. So you can't mitigate the risk. You can't get rid of the risk. There's going to be a risk. Only you can do is say, yo, look, I want to mitigate it, right?
Yeah, yeah.
I watched a poker game. This was years ago. There was this guy, Phil Ivey, right? Black guy. He played poker. He's like one of the famous poker players, right? So I used to be in the poker real heavy when I was in my 20s. Yeah, when I was in the joint, I used to play poker I thought I was gonna come out and beat. I was gonna do. I'm gonna come out.
I'm gonna go to Vegas.
Go to Vegas. Yeah, that's how I was studying poker. Texas Hold'em. I thought it was the most amazing thing ever.
You get money in the pens, bro. What y'all used to play for? Commissary?
Of course, commissary. So, funny story with that, right? Funny story with that. Yo, 08, so I did 20. I always tell people my first 10 years, I was just bullshitting around. You know what I'm saying? My last 10 is when I started, really honing in on becoming a man and preparing, right? But about 04, 05, there was my homeboy from Boogie Down, all the kids from up north, New York, Jersey, Pennsylvania, I was down here, and everybody we'd hang out. We all was cool. So I used to be at the poker. I used to be watching this poker, and all the time, I lose at first, right? I'd be losing, right? So I used to tell my man, I'd be like, yo, son, I'm down there, and I know the whole game. I be studying and everything. Why I can't win? He said, because you down there to play. They down there to eat. He said, yo, if they don't win, they don't eat, bro. What are you talking about? You got commissary coming from the house. You going to the store every week. You know what I'm saying? They laying on you. If they don't get you, there's no food in their box. What are you talking about, right? But so I'm just saying that's the poker. But so then it made me understood that you got to be all the way in. That's why I don't even play. I just be like, yo, listen, I'm coming to win. I'm not coming here to play around and nothing. I'm coming here to win. The guy Phil Ivey, he was playing poker, and he had like the best hand, right? So it was for the jackpot. And this other guy, I forget the guy's name, but
let's call him Dave.
Yeah, let's call him Dave, right? Let's call him Dave, right? So my man went all in, right? He went all in, and the other guy went all in, right? Went all in. So my man reading the board, so he got the best hand. He's like, yo, there's only one card on the deck that can beat me. One card, that's it. So he go all in, right? Go all in. He's like, yo, Phil Ivey, go all in. So they flip the cards, right? Because you all in. We're going to see what you got. So he was like, yo, there's only one card that can beat him. You know what I'm saying? This for all the chips. And that one card came out, right? Bang. Knocked him, right? So he over there, he looking crazy. So, after the poker, after the tournament, everything, he got to get up from the seat, he lose, right? And they said to him, if you had to do it all over again, would you have pushed them chips all in? He said, yeah. He said, because when I played the odds of that card coming out were like 1 to such and such. You know what I'm saying? So yes, if that happens, I've won weight all the time. He said, every time I'm going to push it in. If they call me back to the same table for the same hand, I'm going to push it in. Because that's going to happen. Sometimes you're going to play their hand correctly.
Still come up short.
But if over time, if you play your hands correctly, you gonna win, fam.
It's a game of numbers.
You know what that remind me of? Let me give a big shout out to Roxanne
Porter.
She used to have this thing called 2 things: high payoff activities and good behaviors are better than good results.
Word.
I never forget, good behaviors are better than good results.
Word. There you go.
So you just relax. You keep doing the right thing over and over and over again, because you could get a good result and it's one and done.
Word.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
but if you are consistent with your behaviors, and that's what you just described there.
Yeah, that's high payoff activities. You know what I'm saying? I never thought about, because we always say I always measure myself by what are activities that I'm doing, and then I start measuring those activities. Are they the right activities, right? Am I reaching out to enough people? Am I calling people? What am I doing, and how can I delegate and pass off the things that are not high leverage, right? Mm-hmm. And then, like you said, good behavior. So that's the good activities, right? And then high payoff activities. But yeah, I never thought about it like that. Good behaviors, just doing the right thing all the time.
You're gonna get the results. You're gonna get the results that come to you.
You're gonna get the results. Yo, look, this is, like I said, man, everything come back to the Most High. Mm-hmm. You see what I'm saying? Like, yo, all you can do is do what you're supposed to do, and then you gotta leave the chips with the Most High. That's it. You can't, because when you trying to say, you know what, I'm gonna manipulate this whole situation. I ain't gonna, because I got a bad result here. I'm like, oh man, so I'm gonna be doing this. I must be, this good, what's his name? He said, oh, he got a song. He said, he got a lyric. He said, yo, I tried good, but good's not too good. Had to be good to be X, right?
DMX.
So
rest in power, D.
Exactly. Word. Rest in power. You know what I'm saying? So he was like, yo, it wasn't too good for me.
Yeah.
But we didn't trust in that behavior. See what I'm saying?
Somebody's knocking. Can I let her in?
It's hard because we live in it.
Just starting.
Where will it end?
We do not own the rights to this music or these lyrics.
Right? Gotta let them know that.
Salute to the God. Wow. I just said like this, man. All truths are but half truths. I knew a lot of things when I was a shorty, and I was right. And they socialized me out of it, and I got to rediscover it. You know what I'm saying? And I had a lot of misconceptions when I was a shorty, and I was dead wrong, and I got to relearn. But I thought at the same time I was true. And I think about who I was 5 years ago and what words I would say. They may be different today, but then it was true. Mm-hmm. So this place that we're in is a temporal place. It's temporary. The truth is even fleeting. So the only thing we can do is be what we are becoming. And the things that are established and that we're going to stand on, we stand on it with 2 feet. And if we don't, we don't. We just in a place now where, everybody's ambiguous, everybody's political. I'm not political, I'm judgmental, so if you catch me on the run on, I'm going to tell you the real. You ain't got to worry because it's too much, raindrops around. And we in a real time. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I mess with the business warriors, with soldiers. Yeah, I need to deal with people that's uncut, raw, true to themselves. I don't need you to be true to me. I don't have to agree with you. I do not have, I like spending time with people I don't agree with. I don't have to agree. I do need you, however, to be true.
100%.
That's it. That's what I got.
So real quick, man, before we wrap it up and tighten up, you remember the time we was in Colorado?
Oh yeah.
And I'm gonna tell you about a specific time. You left something in the whip and you was like, yo, I'm gonna leave this here for my future self.
I was stoned. I was stoned.
But you took note, you know what I mean? Because you came back, you was like, oh my God, like I appreciated this. So I'm gonna say this: what do you want to leave here on the Black Business Warrior for your future self and those of the future? Because we stepping into the future. You know what I'm saying? This is a new day, baby.
And this is here for posterity, right? You
know what I'm saying? Absolutely. So what you want to leave? What you want to leave, brother?
I would leave. Well, listen.
And I hope it ain't your last time on the show, man. It was good having you.
I pray that it's not as well. If I could leave a gem, I just mentioned it, but it's the biggest thing that I learned over the last 2 years is that I was right in the beginning.
There we go.
I was already right. So what I'm learning more of is to trust my instincts.
Mm-hmm.
Trust my instincts. Trust me, not what you help me feel or what little suggestion. Let me tell you specifically what I was right about. Yeah. When I was a shorty, I just had the craziest confidence. I just felt like I can do anything. I could fly. I could I can remember feeling just like that. When I was in sports, I was good at it. And if I was in second or third, I was very confused because in my mind, that really shouldn't happen. Yeah. But this is because you're a child, right? And you got this beautiful thing called naive confidence. You're moldable. Everything is in delta waves, right? But then you got the structure. You got the environment that teaches you, Muhammad, stop being so boastful Because stop looking so
Humble yourself.
Humble yourself. And now, if I would say how good I was, stop. You too proud. You too conceited. I got called a lot of wild things to the point where I learned how to, people give me compliments.
Found out it was Dr. Joy DeGraw.
Post-traumatic slave syndrome
that these folks is dealing with and putting it on us.
I'm God.
Thank you.
I knew it already, and they convinced me I was human. And now I'm remembering. So, that was a bit of a profound statement, but guess what? It's probably true for you too, right? If you believe it's true. So what I say, the biggest thing that I learned as far as everything is that truth, that trust that you have it with you. And that's for anybody.
Yeah.
No, that's what's up, man. Yo, that was dropping the ball, man. Yo, trusting yourself, understanding who you. And I wanted to say this. I always tell people when I be like, "What can you do?" or "Who are you?" and they come with the humble crap, right? I always say I do say that because if you don't tell me what you can really do, right? How can I know? How can we be useful to each other?
That's a big fact.
If you don't come to me and be like, nah, I'm not. I don't do nothing. I'm not good at nothing.
You trusted me to tell you what I do.
That's why you say, you gotta trust who you are, and that's where the limitation understanding. Listen, I'm gonna just tell you what I can do, who I am, and what I know I can execute.
Yeah.
All right. Nah, I'm not gonna sit here and be like, y'all don't know how to do these things. Nah, I put the work in.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like I made it happen.
Right.
And that's where I think where you're doing a disservice to me if you come to me and you be like, no, nothing. And then I find out you a computer expert. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? You magnificent at drawing. You got all kinds. I'm like, why you ain't telling me that? I didn't want to brag. You're not bragging, fam. You're stating the fact of what you can do and what your skill set are.
It's that muscle though, bro. You don't feel that muscle up, then you think you're weak.
You think
you know
you're
what
weak.
I'm saying? Like you see yourself a different, or probably got beaten down as a short.
Nah,
when you was exercising that muscle.
Yeah, just calm that down. Bring it down a little bit. That light is too bright.
Yeah.
Put something on that.
Yeah, dim that light.
Take it off, shine.
Yeah,
so you know I get excited, dog.
We ain't vampires, nigga. Look, the lights gonna shine in. Yo, yeah, man, this has been a dope episode.
Appreciate it, man.
My brother Mo came through. Like class as always, man. This episode dedicated to my grandmother, man.
Word up, man. Yo.
Mama. Hazel
Mama.
In the heavens, baby.
Forever.
Peace and love.
Y'all stay focused, stay blessed, man.
Facts. Peace.
That was fun. I need to smoke.